Hey guys, welcome to the first video of Matcha with Mo. So let's start it by just drinking our matcha. Hold on. So what's in my cup? So in my cup, I have matcha, sparkling water, and maple syrup. So this tastes like a matcha soda. And I don't normally drink soda, guys. At least I don't drink soda. I haven't drank soda in years, actually. I normally just drink water, matcha, or some almond milk or something like that, but never soda. But this, I don't know, guys. It hit different. So 10 out of 10 would highly recommend. Anyway, so let's get started. So we are going to be discussing so anyway guys, I see I'm getting tongue-tied. Anyway guys, let's start. So today we're going to be discussing 5 tips for you to become more productive. And tip number 1 is plan ahead. All right, so let me just give you a backstory. Before moving to Japan, I was working in a company and I was a part of an agile lab. And in this agile lab, we employed the Scrum framework in order to just to complete the tasks that we had. Now, for persons who are unaware, the Scrum framework is essentially a framework where, in simple terms, you have a complex problem and you dissect that problem and then you work on different increments. So when you dissect it, you have little tiny problems and you work on those tiny problems in increments in order to achieve the big goal. Now, one of the things is that when you are utilizing the Scrum framework, what you normally do is you normally have something called a storyboard, right? So travel with me now. Say, for example, you have your end goal. Your end goal is to go to university. Now, you want to apply for so you are in, you want to do a master's, yes. So you are in undergraduate at whichever university and you want to do a master's. Or you don't even have to be an undergraduate, but you are somewhere and you want to do your master's. So the end goal or the big complex problem is doing your master's. Now, to get from point A to point B, there are certain steps that you have to take. So what the Scrum framework does, it allows you to write down or to draw a storyboard. Now, on this storyboard, you're going to sectionalize it. You have these sections. One, you have your tasks. Then you have this section called to do. Then you have this section called in progress. Then you have another section called review. And then you have another section called done, right? Now, in order to get to do your master's, one, you need to first find out what master's you want to do. 2, you need to find out what are the requirements in order to do your master's. 3, after you find out the requirements, you need to know, like what steps are you going to take to meet these requirements. So it is just having this big problem that you are sectionalizing and you're just dissecting one by one. So what you do is you have that complex problem and you write down absolutely every single thing that you will need in order to get to the point of your master's, and these are now your tasks. Now, what you can do is you're going to take individual tasks and then you're going to put them in the section called to do, right? Now, one task could be so like, for example, for me, I went to college and I also went to university to do my undergraduate, so my bachelor's, right? And when I was going to apply for my master's, I knew that I needed to, 1, get my transcript from my teacher's college, and I also needed to get my transcript from my university undergraduate, and I also needed to get like some references. So these are some of the tasks that I would just take from a task and put them into to do, and they could run concurrently, right? Because me calling the teacher's college to say, hey, I'm gonna need a transcript, could be done at the very same time as me calling the university to say, hey, I'm gonna need my transcript for undergrad, and calling a couple persons to write recommendation or references for me. No, when you have called these individuals and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna do your transcript, I'm preparing it, and you know you pay money for that, and then other person say, yeah man, I'll write your references, and then the other school say, yeah man, I'll prepare like a graduation certificate and transcript, then you put those into in progress, right? Because no, those are the things that are running in progress, and then you can start putting other tasks into to do. Now from in progress, once the persons have reached out to you and said that, hey, here's your transcript, here's your references, here's your graduation certificate, you put those in review. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at your transcripts to ensure that they meet the criteria for what the university is asking for. You look at your references to see that everything that you had asked the persons you referral to do, they have done it, they have met the criteria. And then once all of those have met the standard as to what the university that you're applying for requires, then you can put it in done. So this is essentially one way of being a little bit more productive, and it also allows you to see everything, just have a nice wonderful layout of everything that you need to do, what you're doing currently, what you have already finished, what needs a little bit more review, all of that kind of stuff. So that is my first suggestion on, or my first tip on being more productive. So what I will do for you guys is I am going to link below a blog post that I wrote, and then you guys can see just a table, and then you can use that. And one thing that we always did in the Scrum Lab was that we pen and paper, even though we have technology, use pen and paper. You get a little post-it and you write down each of these things and you put it up on this big board. So you can put it up on a big board in your house, like you can buy for yourself like a little whiteboard or a chalkboard or a cork board or something, and then you just stick your post-its on them and then you just move them off, and it is so liberating when you just tear off everything after it, like off your to-do list. Not just tick off, tear off the post-its them. So that's tip number one on being more productive. The next tip is number 2, set your work hours. So this is something that I employed especially when it was the work from home period, because I know I am going back to working in person, but especially when I was working from home, I had to set my work hours. But because I'm also an entrepreneur, I do have to set my work hours, and I have to ensure that I follow these work hours because I am in a complete different time zone from Jamaica. So I have to set my own, and like my teammates and that kind of thing, I have to set my work hours so that I can have time for sleep and have personal time to do whatever it is that I want to do. So tip number 2 is set your work hours, and always follow that. Just kind of build a routine for yourself, because one thing about being productive, routine is not always bad, because sometimes you think that, oh, this is so routine sometimes is very good, because at least that your brain knows that, okay, every day at 8 to 9 p.m. or at 8 to 10 p.m. Monique is going to be working on XYZ. And then every day, because you're doing this for an extended period of time, your brain just gets used to it, and then your brain just start, like the productivity juices then start to flow at 8 o'clock every day, and then you find that you become even more productive over time, because your brain has kind of gotten used to that type of lifestyle. right? The next thing, tip number 3, dedicate a space in your home as your workspace, right? Now, one of the things that I try not to do is to take work to my bed. You see, the brain is a very powerful thing, the mind is a powerful thing, and I advise against, completely against, taking your work to bed. So set up a nice little work area at your house. If you live in a very small apartment or whatever, have a little section, put some cushions there or something, but don't go up on your bed, because as I said, your brain is such a powerful thing. And you see, when you start to put in your brain that, guess what, my bed is also where I work, sometimes, and I know for me this happened, you struggle to sleep because your brain is now confused. Am I resting or am I working? You don't want to confuse your brain. So set up a nice little work area. You have a nice little table or whatever. You have a dining table. If that's the only thing, you have one little section on your dining table that is for your work, and you always use that section. And then you see, every time that you come into that space, your brain also remembers that, hey, it's time to stop the foolishness and get to work. So it's the same, in the same breath that in tip number 2, you're setting your work hours and your brain gets used to it. It's the same way that your brain will get used to you having a workspace, and then the creativity and the productivity juices now, they flow easier when you get into that little section, because your brain knows that once you hit this seat in this space, it's time for work. So that's tip number 3 on being more productive. The next tip is, let me see, keep away from social media and the news. Yes, the news. I have found that especially in 2020, listen, every time that I look at the news, I'm depressed. And this gravely affected just the work that I produced, right? And I took a stock of it at one point, and I was like, but wait, every time that I read, like the news or the Gleaner or something, and then I seen all the craziness that's happening in the world, I just don't even feel like doing anything productive anymore. And then when I realized that that is what was happening to me, then I said, oh, okay, maybe when it comes on to just like working and so forth, I should stay away from news. All right, guys, hold on. Nice. Yes, so keep off social media, and try to keep off social media and keep from watching the news or reading about the news at least 30 minutes before you get into that space of just working or something like that, because you don't want to kind of shift your mood, and then social media will just suck you in. Because guys, I have this thing on my phone that shows me the amount of time that I spend on different apps, and it is just an ungodly amount of time that I spend on the social media accounts like Facebook. It's ridiculous. Oh my god, ridiculous. So in order to be more productive, and everybody knows this, is just keep off social media. And I will also add, keep off the news. I'm not saying not to go use social media or watch the news, of course, because you have to be abreast of what's going on. But when it is work time, put away your phone, unless you work on your phone, and then you have different apps that you can use to kind of just cut your access to these things. Because I know that for like Android, because I have an Android, so all these iPhone people with hype self whatever, I have an Android, and there's this app where I can I don't remember the name of it, but it basically cuts my access from these applications, and I have to go through hoops in order to get back access. So I can cut my access from these applications for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever. And then once I am done doing what I'm doing, then I can unlock like the apps or whatever. So you guys can check out something like that. I'm not sure if you have an app. More than likely you guys have it on iPhone, and then you're probably going to comment and say, of course iPhone has it from 19 oh long, and Android for like whatever. Oh my gosh. And my final tip on being more productive is this, guys, trust me. drink matcha. Guys, when I say matcha changed my life, I'm not even kidding. Drink matcha. Matcha is the drink of productivity. Matcha is the drink of productivity. Matcha is the drink of productivity. Matcha has helped me to focus. Matcha has helped me to relax. Matcha has calmed me down. And when I say that, like, this thing works, I am so very serious. So my advice to you is about 20 minutes or 10 minutes or so before you start, doing something that you need to, focus on, you need like a lot of brain power, you drink your matcha. Because matcha, it has this amazing property called L-theanine, right? It's an amino acid that calms down your body, and it also helps you to concentrate. And then because matcha has a caffeine content, it heightens your energy, and then you have this energy and you're focused, your body is relaxed, and you're concentrating. And I can tell you that anytime that I have, especially like if I'm working in the night and I have like a lot of stuff to do, and even if I feel real tired, I turn to my matcha, I drink my matcha, and for hours I'll just be there, just cranking and going along and just getting stuff done. So my fifth advice is to definitely drink your matcha before doing anything that requires a lot of focus, concentration, alertness, and brain power, because it helps you to achieve all of these things. So from the top, guys, 1, plan ahead. So planning ahead means, you create like a scrum board, and as I said, I'm going to link a blog post below so that you guys can see how to create your board. 2, let me just go through them because I have them here. 2, you're gonna set your work hours and stick to it. Now, if you fall, 1 or 2 times fall off hours, that's fine. I mean, that happens. But ensure that, you've developed this kind of routine that, that every day at 8 to whatever time, or if it's in the morning or in the night, whichever time your brain is a little bit more productive, you use that as your work hours and you stick to it. 3, you're going to dedicate a section in your home for your workspace. And 4, you're going to keep off social media and the news, and especially keep off there at least 30 minutes before you actually begin working, because you don't want to change your mood. And 5, drink your matcha. So yes, guys, those are my productivity tips. I'm sure there are millions more. Just let me know how it is that you stay productive, what you do, some tips that you have on, just being more productive. Please just comment below and let me know. And like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video if you think that this can help someone to become more productive. So share this video with your friends and on your platforms. And guys, turn on the notification bell, because so when I drop these videos and you want to be the first person to know, then you turn on a notification bell. So there you go, guys. So these are my tips on being more productive. Let me know if it helps you, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.